What's up, all you Quantum Maniacs? I'm DeQuan Young, and today we present 10 NFL games that could have gone differently with the new pass interference rules. Don't forget to subscribe to TPS and make sure you hit the bell and turn on our notifications and join the notification squad. And don't forget to leave your video ideas down in the comments below. We're looking and we'll give you a shout out in the video if we use it. The NFL added a new rule for the 2019 season which allows coaches to challenge pass interference penalties that either the refs called or missed. That is, they can challenge if they think the refs missed the call, or they can challenge if they thought the PI call was wrong. Well, better late than never. But look back at some of the biggest games in NFL history, and it's fair to believe they would have been completely different if coaches were allowed to challenge pass interference back then. Oh my, how history could have been different. Number 10, the 2017 AFC Championship game. Flag for great coverage. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough is almost never quiet, especially in the second quarter, and especially in a playoff game. But the Jacksonville Jaguars built a 14-3 lead over the New England Patriots in the 2017 AFC Championship game. The Jaguars defense kept Tom Brady in check, and the Jaguars looked poised to reach their first ever Super Bowl. Needing some momentum badly, the Patriots got it in the form of a questionable call from officials. And with over a minute left in the second quarter, Tom Brady chucked a deep ball to Brandon Cooks. The ball was totally uncatchable and sailed out of bounds, but yet the refs flagged AJ Boye. Well, too bad the league couldn't review the call on the spot there. There was contact, but was there enough contact? And was the ball even catchable? The Patriots would score a touchdown after the controversial call, and they outscored Jacksonville 14-6 in the second half to reach Super Bowl 52. Number 9, Golden Tate's miracle grab versus the Packers. How bad was this no call and touchdown ruling? The NFL stopped using replacement refs and brought back the real officials 3 days later. The Green Bay Packers and Seattle Seahawks met in Week 3 of the 2012 NFL season. Aaron Rodgers versus Russell Wilson, Part 1. What could possibly ruin this game? A terrible call. Seattle trailed 12-7 in the waning seconds, and Russell Wilson could only throw a Hail Mary and hope for the best. Video replay showed that Jennings got the ball first, and it should have been a game-ending interception. That was the main screw-up by the refs, who instead awarded possession and the game-winning touchdown to Golden Tate. Worse yet, the NFL later said that officials missed an offensive pass interference penalty on Tate when he pushed off Shields. That would have nullified the touchdown, and the Packers would have won regardless of the possession rule. Number 8, Super Bowl 40, Darrell Jackson touchdown callback. Super Bowl 40 is remembered for all the wrong reasons. Not for Hall of Famer Jerome Bettis retiring as a champion, not for 23-year-old Ben Roethlisberger winning his first Super Bowl. No, rather it's remembered for the large quantity of controversial officiating mistakes, all of which happened to favor the Steelers. The miserable day for the officials started in the first quarter. Seahawks wide receiver Darrell Jackson caught a touchdown pass from Matt Hasselbeck to open the score, but the officials called a very suspect pass interference penalty on Jackson. You be the judge. You could call that either way, but envision this. The Seahawks are allowed to challenge that, the refs deem no penalty and pick up the flag. Seattle goes up 7-0, and maybe that dictates the tempo of the game, and maybe they wind up winning the Super Bowl. Number 7, the 2003 AFC Championship. Colts screwed by the no call. The 2003 AFC Championship game featured the first playoff meeting between NFL legends Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. It was fairly sloppy and mistake-filled for the most part, as both Brady and Manning tried to fight bad weather and two stingy defenses. Trailing by a touchdown with 2 minutes left, Manning had enough time to try to keep the Indianapolis Colts Super Bowl dreams alive. Facing a 4th and long situation, Manning threw an incomplete pass to Marcus Pollard, but that was only half the story. Willie McGinnis initiates contact on Pollard, who was then held by Roman Pfeiffer before the ball arrived. The refs thought nothing of it. The Patriots got the ball back and held on to win the AFC title game before winning their second Super Bowl in 3 years. You have to think that if the Colts were allowed to challenge for pass interference or defensive holding, the refs would have reversed it. That was a penalty, clear as day. Number 6, the 1975 divisional playoff game. Drew Pearson's Hail Mary push-off. Most people remember Roger Staubach's touchdown to Drew Pearson in the 1975 divisional round as being the first official Hail Mary. However, Vikings fans will always remember it as a missed call that likely costed them a trip to the NFC Championship game. The play is still debated to this day, but most people believe that Pearson actually pushed off a Vikings cornerback Nate Wright. And if there had been a replay for pass interference back then, we certainly believe this could have been called. But as you all know, pass interference wasn't challengeable. The Cowboys won the game 17-14, and fans littered the field with beer bottles as a form of protest. Hell, one of the bottles even hit a referee, who was cut open and left unconscious. As a result, the NFL later implemented a rule banning the sale of glass bottles in stadiums. And it's all because the Vikings couldn't challenge that one pass interference call. Number 5, the 2014 NFC wildcard game. The refs tamed the Lions. The Detroit Lions haven't won a playoff game since 1991, but they were on the verge of snapping that drought against the Dallas Cowboys in the 2014 NFC wildcard round. The Lions led 20-17 in the fourth quarter, and on 3rd and 1, Stafford tried hitting Brandon Pettigrew up the seam. The refs flagged Anthony Hitchens, so they made the right call. Except the refs picked up the flag and determined there was no penalty on Hitchens after all. You know the rest, Lions fans. Tony Romo drives Dallas down the field and Terrence Williams makes the go-ahead touchdown reception. The Cowboys held off Stafford and company to book their ticket to the divisional round. Unfortunately for us Lions fans, this is no new story. The new pass interference rules wouldn't come in for a few more years, so we weren't able to challenge. And if we did, we probably would have still lost the game because Lions gonna lie. Number 4, the 1994 NFC Championship. Deion Sanders on Michael Irvin. For the 3rd straight year, the Cowboys and 49ers met in the NFC Championship game. Well, the Cowboys' chances of a three-peat were in jeopardy. They trailed 38-28 with 6 minutes left and needed a quick score. Troy Aikman threw up a deep ball to Michael Irvin, who was being covered by Deion Sanders. And in a rare occurrence, Irvin beat Sanders and should have made a catch. Except Deion totally interfered with him, and the refs totally missed the call. The 49ers would hold down the fort and prevent a Dallas comeback, winning the NFC title game and eventually the Super Bowl. Now, Dallas would win the Super Bowl a year later to earn a dynasty status, but if the Cowboys were able to challenge and if the refs reversed that, we could have been talking about a four-peat. Think about that. Number 3, Pats escape penalty in Super Bowl 53. Super Bowl 53 between the Los Angeles Rams and New England Patriots will go down as the most boring in history. All of those Hall of Famers, both players and coaches, and Pro Bowlers on both sides, and we only got 19 total points out of it? Because this Super Bowl was so bad, it's fitting that the game also ended with more awful officiating. The refs made some pretty iffy calls throughout the game, but worse yet, they also missed some big non-calls. The Patriots led the Rams 10-3 with just under 5 minutes to go. Jared Goff found a streaking Brandon Cooks near the goal line, so he lobbed a beautiful pass over 2 Pats defenders. Cooks couldn't come down with the catch, but a closer look at the replay, and this wasn't a bad drop on his end, it was simply a horrible missed call by the refs. Goff proceeded to throw an interception to Stephon Gilmore, and the Patriots milked the clock and went on to win 16-3. After the new pass interference rule was introduced, the NFL admitted that the officials should have called pass interference on that play. Number 2, Michael Crabtree held in Super Bowl 47. The San Francisco 49ers met the Baltimore Ravens in Super Bowl 47. There were countless storylines in this one. It was the battle of the Harbaugh brothers. Jim Harbaugh of the 49ers went up against brother John of the Ravens. It would also be the final game for NFL legends Ray Lewis and Randy Moss. And there was a power outage that caused a half-hour delay in the game. You couldn't make this stuff up. The 49ers trailed the Ravens 34-29, and they got the ball inside the Ravens 10-yard line with 2 minutes left. The game was coming down to a goal line stand. On 4th and goal, Colin Kaepernick threw a pass to his top wide receiver, Michael Crabtree, and he wasn't able to get it. However, he appeared to be held by Jimmy Smith. Well, it seems like the refs didn't want to make such a close call at that stage of the game, so they let it go. The Ravens milked the clock to win the Super Bowl, but you can't really help but think if the 49ers were able to challenge that, the refs would flag Baltimore. And with 4 chances to score from inside the 5, you could bet that the 49ers would have done it, especially with Colin Kaepernick. Number 1, the refs cost the Saints a Super Bowl 53 trip. This non-call was so pathetic that it's practically the reason why the NFL added the new pass interference rules. Saints fans marched to downtown New Orleans to protest the call. If you go into a tourist shop in the city, there are countless shirts mocking Roger Goodell and the officials for the non-call. The New Orleans Saints and Los Angeles Rams are tied 20 apiece with under 2 minutes left in the 2018 NFC Championship game. The Rams only have 1 timeout left, so a Saints first down probably ices the game. They'd be able to milk the clock and kick a short game-winning field goal. On 3rd down, Drew Brees threw a pass to Tommy Lee Lewis, but Nickell Roby-Coleman knocked him to the ground about 200 seconds before the ball arrived. That's literally the most blatant pass interference call ever. But the refs kept the flags in their pocket, the Rams kicked the field goal to force overtime, Brees threw an interception on the opening drive, and Greg Zuerlein will make a 57-yarder to send the Rams to the Super Bowl. The Saints were screwed out of a Super Bowl berth and possibly another Lombardi trophy. That was downright the most embarrassing missed call in sports. The only silver lining is the NFL finally introduced the new pass interference challenge rules. Only about 10 years too late, but better late than never. I actually think that this rule is going to be terrible. It's going to slow the game down. The wide receivers already have an advantage, but nobody cares what I think. Which other NFL games could have gone differently with the new pass interference challenge rules? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and we truly appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.